Hey, what's up? Whew. Had a rough day today. I had an episode. I just watched my guy just have a think, talk about stuff. If anybody ever watches my channel, you gotta watch Just Have a Think, because he talks about interesting renewable electric stuff and batteries and stuff, and he's got the great Englishman voice, and he always, in addition to giving me what I view as insightful information on the renewables front, he seems to kind of, I don't know, put me to sleep. He has that story tell, that daddy telling me a story before I go to bed voice. So, I don't know. If I could record it and set a recording down next to me on my bed when I needed help getting to sleep, I totally would use that guy's voice because it would help. Yeah. And I had a thought. It was the thought was that people don't want to believe in climate change and combat it because it's too boring. It's like fighting climate change is like filling out an insurance form or reading stereo instructions, as opposed to like watching a World War II movie. And those, by the way, are the people we need to convince about climate change. And by the way, I'm not really doing anything to help it anyways. So I'm doing less to contribute, but I am doing a decent amount to contribute. I have no illusions about myself being like, oh, I got a green print or anything. I'm pretty poor. I don't buy anything other than pretty much what I need. So, you know. And I drink a lot of soda. So that's probably how I destroy the earth. Watch TV, pay my bills, and then drink soda. That's basically it. And then I don't really help. And you know what I do sometimes? Sometimes if it's yellow, I let it mellow. So, cheers for the earth. And we're not in a particular water crisis or anything like that here in this area. I just do that just because, like, let's save a little bit of water here and there. You should probably do that everywhere. Save a little bit of fresh water. Every flush is a little bit of fresh water saved. It adds up, people. Especially for bachelors. If you're in a family, if you're a family in a family house, it gets more disgusting, especially if you have women in there. But if you're a bachelor, like me, you don't give a crap. literally. So, just whatever. Puts less strain on the sewer system. We're doing all sorts of favors for society and the planet, by the way, which is what we're trying to do here. But you're helping lots of things. And again, on this Trump Maduro thing, I don't even know. I don't even know where to go. I wanted to say some stuff about Trump with the Trump um, like what is the deal with the no wars, and particularly no new wars, and no, I mean, he keeps saying he's going to go there for the oil. I mean, he's not even making a pretext for it. So on one hand, that's kind of good, and on the other hand, it's kind of like, what the hell? Wanted to say this too, by the way. Um, when I was watching a Star Trek episode about these people that were transporting a group of people, aliens that were transporting a group of their society called the Progressives to another colony to settle because they didn't want to use technology and stuff, modern technology, most modern technology. But it turned out to be some big ass scandal, and really they were just transporting them somewhere to be exterminated. I'm just like, I wouldn't be surprised if they're doing that. The Trump admin is doing that to all the deported people, or not all, but some of the deported people. They're just shipping some of them to somewhere to be, I don't know, shot or thrown into the sea or something. I mean, because seriously, think about it. If you want to deport, and think how expensive it is to deport like 10 million people. Like, it costs X amount of money to round up and deport 10 million people that, by the way, are generating money for the country. That's a cost that the taxpayers have to pay. When instead they could generate money for everybody. And what are you doing? You're flying them to another country in airplanes? Really? I'm supposed to believe that? This guy, Trump, the guy that stiffed every contractor he ever hired, is deporting people in the most expensive way. I don't, sure, whatever. Okay. I mean, I don't have the resources to do the investigative journalism necessary, but I'm just saying that 2 plus 2 does not add up to 5 here. So, whatever. And again, 10 million people times the deportation process. Okay, say it costs $100 to deport one person. 10 times 100 is $1 billion. So that means deporting these people, if it's $100, it's going to cost $1 billion. What could one state do with $1 billion? Every state raise their hand and just ask for that money. Ask for $1 billion. I'm pretty sure one state wants that $1 billion. Doesn't the state want that $1 billion? I think the state wants that. And I think that it costs more than $100 to do the deportation process. Because think about what they got to do. They don't got to just fly them off. It's not just a flight. They got to go out, catch them. So the guy, go, catch, bring back, house, then fly. So all of that, all of those costs for that one person. Now maybe they catch 2 people at the same time. Probably not. So think about how much that shit costs. How much they're putting into deporting these people. And I bet that whatever the official figure is, the official figure is not fucking accurate at all. So, yeah. So that's just another angle that I bet you can go after for Trump about this shit. And you could probably say the same thing about Biden. About every president that did deportations, if they were flying, hundreds of thousands or millions of people on airplanes, if they were just carting them back over in cheap ass buses or some shit like that, then it would be cheaper. If they were just using the funds that were allotted by Congress and not some, they were roping in funds and saying, okay, we have these dollars allotted to us by Congress and we're just not going to give them to where they're designated to, and we're going to say use them for ICE. We're going to redirect these $300 billion to ICE, hire 10,000 more people, use it for ICE, and get 2 more airplanes and fund those airplanes, and all this bullshit that basically is illegal. Yeah, it's fucking illegal. then you guys need to people need to start waking up that that's fucking, that's illegal allocation of your tax dollars. Now, right now, I don't pay taxes. So, I mean, whatever, but you all do. So, I guess I gotta say to especially people in blue states who are pissed off about this, I guess what you gotta do is not pay taxes. I mean, really, especially after the midterms. If the midterms get fucked up and they look like they're like everybody votes in a whole buttload of Democrats and independents and basically zero Republicans, and maybe it's rigged or something like that, and like they Trump and his acolytes turn this into some sort of banana republic, then yeah, I think people need to stop paying federal taxes. Or the people that no longer believe in or have faith that this is a working democracy. We just need to stop funding this federal government. And that's going to basically cripple people like me who are on disability, but you know, what are you going to do? My landlord basically gets all this, well, I don't know that he gets all this income from disability people, but landlords all across the country suddenly not getting uh, not being able to get a certain percentage of their rent payments because disabled and retired and whatever people aren't getting paid from the federal government because dictator Trump, heir Trump, is starting to confiscate money or doesn't have money because nobody's paying their taxes because they hate him. I think you would suddenly have an entirely new segment of the business community that would be calling for his removal and would be lobbying their Republican congressmen and senators also to get rid of him. So, more and more. That's just one of that's a problem. These are problems when you do certain things as a president without, and you do certain things as a president without at the very least briefing members of both parties. If you believe it's in national security shit, then you have to brief members of both parties and hopefully make announcements to the country, and you can give some information to the country, and you know, the thing as a president you have to do is you have got to win over a good segment of the people that didn't vote for you. You know, if you won the election basically 50-50, You have to do your best to win over half of the people that didn't vote for you as a president. That's what you should do. That's my opinion about the thing. Maybe not to your political side, really, but to your um, um, character side. You have to make them, convince them that you are doing some good for the nation. You are at least making the attempt. I can't see anything good from this guy. The outward evidence does not look good. Like, it's been a year and it looks like crap from all of it. This looks like crap. So, I mean, I don't know what to say. He and the Republicans don't really have much to stand on. And since I've been in Trinity, I've had to walk to town to get anything. There's been a flag on one house. And it was like Trump, I think it said Trump 24, the revenge tour, something like that. And it's been up there. And it was all faded the entire time. And the last time I walked up there, the flag was all ripped up and torn. Basically torn off the flagpole. And I just remember thinking, oh shit. Now, I can only assume, but I'm just kind of assuming whoever that occupant of that house is, did that to that flag. And it's just like, finally, like, was like, fuck this. And maybe that was because of the Venezuela thing. Maybe that was the bridge too far, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Last straw. So I don't know. Jon Stewart had a thing on Monday, and he was really picking at Lindsey Graham's face on when Lindsey Graham and Trump were on I think Air Force One. They were on an airplane, but I think it was Air Force One. He was really taking pot shots at Lindsey Graham for how excited he was for just being yeehaw on colonialism, basically. I just, I don't know what kind of precedent this kind of sense sets in the modern era for another country like India or China to do something similar in their region for a country that they either don't like or may want something from. Uh, I've said it multiple times before. We need a united Earth. You're not going to have it with actions like this. I don't know. Some people say Maduro was a kind of hard-nosed, oppressive leader. I don't know anything about that because, to be honest, I've been so buried in Trump for so long. I don't know how to deal with. I don't have the time to look into other parts of the world. But that's that. Okay. I don't know. I think that's long enough of a rant. Oh, by the way, you see the card up there between the two hats? I put it up there. I forget if that's the happy birthday card or what, but yeah, it's a card and it's there. So, yay. My hats are supporting the card. Good stuff. As always, tax rich people, kneecap them, and lots of boobs.